Hey, this is Mr. Coker with Algebra Lesson 5 drawing box and whisker plots. So, box and whisker plots, what they are is it's a way of visually representing a data set by quartiles. That probably sounds weird, but let me explain. Uh, just like you have four quarters in a dollar or four quarters in a football game, quartiles sounds like quarters. There are four of them. So for every 1/4 of your data set, you've got a mark showing that on your box and whisker plot. So I have this data set right here. Few numbers. First thing I want to do is put it in order. So I'm going to start. I've got a 1, another 1, another 1. So 3 ones. I have a pair of 2s here. I have a 3. I don't have any 4s. I have a 5, a 6, a 7, a 9, and one number that's sticking out. It's called an outlier. It's 19, and that means we've got one number that's kind of far outside the rest of the data set. That's okay. Those are my numbers in order. Now what I'm going to do is find 5 numbers. First thing here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to find what's called the minimum. I'm going to find the lower quartile. I'm going to find the median, upper quartile, and maximum. So the minimum to start with, the minimum is the smallest number. Just what it sounds like. The smallest number we have is a 1. That might be a little too light of a color to show up well. Minimum is 1. That's our smallest number. And our maximum is our largest number, 19. Those easiest 2 things you can find. Next thing I'm going to find is the median. Now, my suggestion when you're searching for a median is, if you just have a few numbers as we do here, mark them. Notice I'm making a mark on the left side and on the right side each time, and then I'll find the middle. Now I have found my median. My middle number is 3. Notice, by the way, it doesn't look, if you look at the maximum and minimum, it doesn't look like the middle number would be 3, but it is. That's why median is often a very good a very good measurement of central tendency, often better than mean. Anyway, our median is 3. Now, ignore the 3. Ignore the 3 and everything to the right of that. So actually I'm going to draw a line. I'm going to draw lines around the 3. There's a reason for that. Just to make the representation of this. Do you find the lower quartile? I'm going to take all the numbers that are smaller than the median, that are to the left of the median. And I'm going to say, and by the way, if there were if there's a 3 here, I wouldn't ignore that, just to be clear. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 5 numbers. I'm going to find the number in the middle. Of course, it is a 2. A 2, what am I saying? It's a 1. See, that's what I get for saying, of course. Anyway, it's a 1. Of course it's a 1, the middle number. Oh, it's same as the minimum, and that's okay, as we'll see when we draw the box and whisker plot. So the lower quartile is the median of the numbers to the left of the median. Upper quartile should be pretty self-explanatory. You look at the three, you look at everything to the right of the three, we'll find our middle number, our median of that set, of course, is a 7. We have the following numbers: 1, 1, 3, 7, 19. With those numbers, we're going to make a box and whisker plot. First thing, going to find a, we're going to make a number line. No, sorry, 0 actually. 5, 6, 7, 8. This for editing software would be awesome. Okay, I'm going to redo my number line. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to number it by 2s, just because I see I don't really have a lot of room. So I'm going to put 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, and just even numbers. So if we have an odd number, just know it's going to be falling in between. Oh my goodness, he said I put a 15. That's so weird. Alright. Here we go. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 20. Yes. Yes, yes. Got my number line. So, first thing I want to do, anytime I'm making one of these boxes, what I like to always start with is your quartiles. You know, it's called a box and whisker plot. So the lower quartile and the upper quartile are going to be the edges of your box. So at 1, our lower quartile, in between 0 and 2, I'm going to draw a line. And at 7, in between 6 and 8, of course, I draw another line. Out of that, I'm going to make a rectangle, and that is a box. This is your lower quartile, 1, and this 7 is your upper quartile. Okay. Now your median, I'm going to do next. For the median, I'm going to draw a line. I'm going to look at, it's 3, so here's 3 in between 2 and 4. And I'm drawing a line. So right now I have a box. A box with a line in the middle. The edges of the box represent the lower quartile and the upper quartile. The line in the middle represents the median. Now it's called box and whiskers. So what do the boxes and what do the whiskers do? Hopefully you can figure out, with 2 numbers left, the whiskers are your line. They're going to be your minimum and maximum. So to make the maximum 19, I'm going to, here's 19. I have a whisker that goes all the way out to 19. See that? So that goes out to 19. Now, what about the minimum? Well, the minimum's a problem because we don't have, our lower quartile is the same as the minimum. Where do I draw? How do I draw a whisker? And this is the thing, I can't draw another whisker. Our minimum happens in this case to be the same as the lower quartile. So I can, in this case, I cannot draw a whisker. Let's see if our minimum, so this is our box and whisker plot. Well, let's say we made a change to it. Let's say that this became a 0. and therefore this became a 0. I'll change it on the first one. Now, our minimum, of course, would be 0, so we would draw Whisker out to 0. I hope that makes sense. Okay, I'm going to erase where it says minimum, lower quartile, median, upper quartile, maximum. I'm going to erase all that with my towel, my erasing towel. I'm probably going to erase, I have to redraw my box too, because I've erased some, erase a little bit of my box. Okay, that's okay though. I can draw that back in. Okay, last thing I want to say about the box and whisker plot is this. It goes by quartiles. The quartiles are 25% each time, right? So, and this is going to look weird, but this interval from 0 to 1, remember I changed it, so from 0 to 1 makes up 25% of the first 25% of your data set. It's only one number, but it is. Remember, we have here 1, 2, 3, 4. Outside of the quartiles and the median, we have 8 numbers, so there are 2 numbers for each one. And 0 and 1 right together. Then we have 2 and, well, from 2 to 3 makes another 25%. That's your second data set. Notice we've written very small so far. We've only made it do the number 3, and we've got half our numbers because our median is 3. That's the middle, and we have all of this room left. Well, there's a big jump for our next 25%, or a pretty big looking jump, bigger than what we've seen. But still, this is out of our data set. This is 25%, 25%, 25%, and then the last bit of it is another 25%. So the reason I want to show this is just a lot of times you'll get questions saying like, well, what numbers make up 25% of the data set, just looking at it. You might see what makes up the top 50%, something like that. If the numbers are very spread out, as these numbers are, because of this outlier, you can have a very lopsided looking box and whisker plot, and that's okay. You always are going to read it the same. So if we had a question that said like, what's the, I don't know, like let's say, which number represents the bottom 25% of the data set? Well, it would be everything under the lower quartile of 1, 0 to 1. What represents the biggest 25%? Well, it's everything from 7 to 19. Huge difference in the size. So anyway, that's what a box and whisker plot does. It's a lot of information. The most important thing, just to recap, I know this video will be a little on the long side, but just to recap, first, put the numbers in order, always. Secondly, I always suggest find your minimum and your maximum first, write those down. Find your median second, write it down. Find your lower quartile and your upper quartile. That's the median of all the numbers smaller than the median, or all the numbers to the left of the median, and the median of all the numbers to the right of the median. Those are your quartiles. You draw your number line, start with a box. Go lower quartile to upper quartile and you make a box. Draw a line, that's your median. Draw a whisker to the minimum and a whisker to the maximum, and that is those are your whiskers, those are your minimum and maximum. You're done. With experience, with practice, this becomes very easy. So, thanks for watching.